Consultant's Corner. I'm Rebecca Brizi. This is my corner. I am a consultant. Weather's great today, don't you think? I didn't expect it to be this nice. Oh, I love the food at this venue. I think it's great that they put out this wonderful selection of hors d'oeuvres. Are you watching that show that's streaming now that everybody's crazy about? Isn't it insane? It's great that stadiums have opened up and are letting a few people in to watch games. It makes such a difference to the atmosphere. In defense of small talk. Small talk matters. It has a strong purpose. It should be used, it should be enjoyed and embraced. It will make your life better. It is quite popular to say, we want to break past the small talk. We want to get into a real conversation. And that's true and it's important. What I disagree with is the opposition with small talk. Small talk isn't a problem. The problem is if you never are able to move beyond small talk. But small talk has a purpose, especially when you're networking, especially when you're meeting people for the first time. Use it to its best advantage. And then everything that comes after will be even more meaningful. What does small talk do for you? First of all, it's where you get comfortable. Small talk is that place where you can talk about things that don't require too much brain activity, that don't risk going into something inappropriate if you're doing it correctly, which means that people can be comfortable in a conversation even before they really know you and have reason to trust you. It also means that you can uphold this conversation while your brain is working on trying to get to know the person. You can focus on what you're trying to learn about the person through mannerisms and behavior and the way they're responding to you, because you're not using up all of your brain energy to think about what you're supposed to be saying, because the conversation is lighthearted and it's simple. Small talk is the space in which you, plural, get comfortable around one another. It is also where you start to create rapport. That's a natural consequence of that whole getting comfortable around one another. But it's because you're starting to see how the other person speaks and sits and expresses themselves. And it's where you are doing the same, and you're starting to see where you kind of match and where you connect and where you can get along. It's okay to start with the small things or even the superficial things. It gives you a foundation and it makes things easier from then on out. And because you are building rapport, so to the purpose of building rapport, it is also where you're starting to find those connections or similarities. Those connections or similarities do not always have to be something relevant to the larger theme. Let's say you're at a business networking event and you meet somebody and you discover that you both really enjoy knitting, and it has nothing to do with your particular businesses or why you're there to begin with. So what? There are a lot of ways to create a connection with somebody. And if you are looking for people to add to your network, to grow that professional network of connections for future collaboration opportunities or referrals or even client relationships, then finding something else that you're both interested in or have in common is great, because it allows you to develop that relationship beyond just one single thing, which deepens the relationship. All of this is happening in small talk. You're allowing those interactions and that time to get to know one another before you actually do know and trust one another. All of these things are essential to relationship building, which means that small talk is essential to relationship building. Use small talk, use it to your advantage. Everything I have said in past videos about being a good listener and asking good questions still apply. Just because it might not require a lot of brain power doesn't mean that you can switch off when it's happening. The other person will notice and will realize that this small talk has given them the opportunity to not continue a conversation with you. You still want to be engaged in the conversation and involved, and you certainly want to be honest. Don't pretend you love baseball if you don't love baseball, but use small talk for what it is, for that opportunity to connect, that opportunity to get comfortable, and that opportunity to get to know one another. In defense of small talk, always. How are you using small talk now, whether it's in remote meetings or in person? What are some tips you can share for making the most of the small talk opportunities? And I will see you back here at the next video. Bye now.